Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in again. Today's topic is authority does not equal popularity, it's influence. Let's get right into it. I talk a lot about authority, I talk about belief pillars, and we're going to be diving a bit deeper into the idea of authority and what it means today. For you to be an authority in your space, and we're talking about like B2B marketing, for you to establish authority in the space that you operate in, you don't need to go viral. That's not the goal of B2B tech marketing, going viral. So you're not chasing a huge follower count, you're not chasing maximum likes or views, right? That's not the goal. A big following doesn't mean that that's going to move your pipeline. In fact, being a quiet authority is more powerful in B2B tech than being a loud generalist, right? So you want to be saying something with authority that's clear, that matters, that is true, and that has influence on your listeners, audience, readers, viewers, rather than just trying to be flashy and get everyone's attention, as many people as you can to listen to you. That's not the goal. So authority does not equal popularity. But what is it then? Authority is about beliefs. It's about belief shaping. Beliefs are the foundation of authority. Beliefs are the pillars on which authority is built. Authority doesn't mean just stating facts. It means shifting mindsets. Now that's a big idea right there, because a lot of B2B tech marketing tends to make this mistake and get it wrong. They tend to focus on facts. They tend to focus on independent, standalone tutorials that may seem, yeah, like they're deeply technical, and they may even be technical, but if they are not tied in the right way to a belief that your product and your startup stands for, it doesn't matter. It's not going to really have any impact. Organizations talk a lot about this is our product, these are the features, this is what it does, this is how you can use it, and this is who should use it. There's a lot of focus on our product, which is not beneficial to the startup at all. Instead, what should happen is talking about here's how we think, what we believe as an organization. This is the stuff beneath the product that we've built. That's what you need to bring out. And I see very few startups doing that. Everyone's obsessed with the surface level stuff, throwing out tech jargon, finding the next new acronym that Gartner comes up with, and then anchoring on those acronyms. It's not the right way. It goes deeper than just your product's features or the solutions it solves or any acronyms you can come up with. It goes to your worldview, how you see the world, the foundation on which your product was actually built. That's what you should be talking about. So yeah, in essence, you should be talking about your belief pillars. I have another video where I talk about what are these belief pillars, some examples. Go and check it out if you haven't. Belief-based content is what builds long-term trust with your audience. If it has no beliefs, it's just meaningless, independent, superficial activity that will fall flat. So when you think of the content your marketing team is putting out, ask yourself, does it have roots? Is it rooted in beliefs? What are our beliefs in the first place? Do we even know that? Those are important questions to ask. 3 ways to build authority the right way. One is to have original thinking, go deep. AI has made everyone sound the same now. So to really stand out, you need to dig a little deeper, find your core beliefs, find your worldview, and share those things. That's what makes you original. That's the first step. It takes some deep work. Once you figure that out, the second step is to consistently apply those beliefs, talk about them, right? Share them in multiple places in the right way. You should be sharing those beliefs consistently. So the first one is depth. The second one is consistency, consistently sharing it repeatedly. If they're your core beliefs, they never get boring. They should never get boring. And if they get boring, then they're not really your core beliefs. You've not dug deep enough. So depth, consistency, and visibility. Talking about it in the right place. You don't need to show up everywhere. You don't need to cover every single platform, every single medium. You need to show up on the ones that really matter to you. And you can pick and choose. When you're getting started, you have to pick one of them to get started with, maybe two. Don't go all out to be everywhere because that doesn't matter. It's not a popularity contest. If you say something smart once, you're lucky. But the trick is to do it over and over again in different ways, saying the same thing in different ways. That makes it really stick, and saying it in the right places so that it reaches the right people at the right time, right? Might sound a bit complicated, but you can simplify it with those three steps: depth, consistency, visibility. So I'd like to talk a bit about the traditional marketing funnel that everyone knows, the IDA funnel, right? The attention, interest, desire, action, the four steps that your buyer goes through before they can buy from you. They first get to know about you, and then they get interested in finding out about you and your product, what you're selling, your service. And then they have a desire to buy it. And then finally they take action and they buy it. But how could we map that to this idea of authority? Because I believe there's ways we can relook at this IDA framework that makes more sense for today. So I would like to look at it as IDA translated for authority would be starting with awareness. And that's kind of similar to the attention stage. They see you. You're showing up in places where you need to be, right? That's the first step. But it gets deeper, right? That's just the start. The second step is respect. Do they respect you? It's not just are they interested in you, but I think respect is a little deeper than interest. It's more valuable. You'd rather have someone respect you than just be interested in who you are, right? So respect is your ideas matter. Your ideas stand out from the crowd. They're noticing you and they respect what you're saying. Going to the next level would be trust. They trust what you're saying. And that's very powerful. They believe what you're saying is credible and true. It takes some work, and it's definitely deeper than respect, even trust. And then going beyond trust, if someone really trusts you, the next level for them would be to allow you to influence them. Or in other words, they defer to your opinions. They see you as the authority. And this is where, you've really earned your place in their minds, where you become an authority in this step, when you have influence on them, when you can lead, when they can defer to your views without having to double check. Are you actually saying what's right or not? And finally, there's one more stage. So we covered four stages already in this authority stack: awareness, respect, trust, and influence. And at each stage, the stakes are higher, the influence is deeper. The authority building is getting stronger and stronger. But there's one more stage, I think, that goes beyond even IDA, which is lastly champions. They become your champions. And this is where they evangelize you, they talk about you, they share it in their close circles, that they found something new, it's cool. And so that's kind of the ultimate sign that your authority is actually working. So this is the authority stack: awareness, respect, trust, influence, and finally champions. ARTIC, if you look at the first letters, ARTIC, right, just to remember it. But how do we think of this authority stack? So the question I'd like to have you ask yourself is, where does your brand fall in this authority stack? Think of your brand, your startup, think of your niche or your category. You're in the midst of multiple other alternatives. Where do you stand? You could be the leader in your space, where everyone, when they think of your space, they think of you. Or you could be just one of the others. When they consider your space, you're mentioned as one of the top 3 or top 5. You're one of them, right? Or it may be that you're so new that people don't even know you exist. They know your space, but they don't know you exist. So where do you fall? Do you have an awareness challenge where people need to first become aware of you? Or are they somewhere on rung 2 or 3? They don't really respect or trust what you say. There's no connection with what you say. They're just aware that you're one of the tools. I think for most B2B tech startups, this is where they would be. right? If you've just started out in the past few months, you're probably still building awareness. You're probably on step one. But if you're beyond that, you're probably on step two, where they're aware of you, but you don't really matter that much. If they look up solutions in your space, they'll come across your brand, but they're not going to think highly of it. There's no respect, no connection, no trust that's built. You need to work on this. Where does your brand fall in this authority stack? Another way of applying this authority stack to your B2B tech marketing is think of this as your prospects are at different stages. Some prospects, they're not even aware of you. They're aware of your competitors. Some prospects are aware, but they don't trust you. Some prospects, they're really close. They trust you and respect you, but they don't see you as the authority in the space. This is a typical buyer journey. If you can understand these stages, you can map out content pieces that target these exact stages. One piece for someone who is just getting aware of your space. Another piece for someone who probably knows you and your competitors, but wants to see who's the one they can trust among them. Right? For others who already are familiar with you and trust you, they've already subscribed to your newsletter, they're following your tweets, they're following you on LinkedIn, your brand, that is. For them, how can you get them to take the next step? What kind of content can you show to them? So if you can think of it that way, your goal becomes to just move prospects to the very next step. So it's very strategic that way. And finally, as we wind down, how do we get started with building authority? To build authority, you need to start small and you need to go deep. Like I mentioned earlier, first figure out your belief pillars. What are they? It'll take some deep work, some thinking, some discussion, not just you sitting alone with a notepad and coming up with ideas. It takes actually sitting with your team. If you're the head of marketing, you need to sit with your founder, your CTO, your product head. Not a very big group, maybe a group of 3 to 5 people, just the key people in your organization, and really figure out what are these beliefs that as an organization we stand for. It's the hill that you pick to die on. You figure that out, you figure out your beliefs. Once you have a list, it doesn't need to be exhaustive. You pick your main belief and start with that. You start sharing your point of view around that belief. And pick 1 or 2 platforms to share it on. Maybe you start with your blog and LinkedIn, for example. And you consistently talk about that belief from different perspectives. Now, remember, when getting started, you don't need to perfect the entire process. You don't need a 6-month plan. That's overkill at the start. You don't need to have production grade equipment so you can create high quality video and extremely edited, perfect videos. Not necessary. The clarity of your ideas and your expression is more important than the clarity of your video. Of course, it doesn't mean share bad videos, but you get what I'm saying. It's not the focus. So think about how you can share these belief pillars of yours to become the most clearest voice in your space, the most unique voice, the one that carves out the most unique space for themselves. That's what matters today. In conclusion, I'd like to say authority is not given, it's built, and it's not a popularity contest. The good thing is you don't need permission to start, and you don't need to have it all figured out to start. You can start where you are right now. Find just one belief pillar, pick 1 or 2 platforms to talk about it on, and start talking about it in a way that's clear and unique to you. Thanks for joining. I'm Twain Taylor from Writewize. That's WRITEWIZE.com. Check us out. We talk a lot about B2B tech marketing. And if you'd like us to help you out, get in touch. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next episode.